and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your host with the mostest, Marky Saint, and I love doing this show. Hold on, I'm going to pause for the cause real quick because it just smells so good in the morning, you know? That's that stuff you can't get when you're dead. You can't get that fresh air or the feeling of the trees. There's just something about that quiet where everybody wakes from their slumber and they get their life back into their bodies. What a magical moment it is. And that's not the topic of discussion this morning. Today, like every day, I talk about something that means something, right? There has to be a lesson plan. As a teacher, I have a lesson plan, and this morning's lesson plan is to talk about fighting over scraps. You know, when I was a child, my mom was very well at adapting us to feast or famine, right? You know, splurge, paycheck time, everybody's eating good. We'd even make meals, and I'd have like the appetizer. My sister would make the dessert. We'd have a full 5-course meal, 4-course meal because there's 4 of us, but you get my point. And I'm sitting there, and I realized what famine was like. I don't know if anyone's ever got the opportunity to live in a third world country, but the reason I'm so scrappy is your boy is already a millionaire, right? I'm already rich. I'm already realizing I create my own happiness. What I got can't be bought. That's why people watch the show. They're like, damn, dude's intense, dude's motivated, dude's inspirational. I get it all the time. It's because I'm tuned in, right? I'm tuned into what I want out of my life, and I know I can make what I want come true. That's a blessing. Most people will never learn the lesson of monetary gains. They'll never learn that even by having money, you're not going to attain happiness. So many people are not millionaires. I think the homie wrote it down. There's only 11 millionaires, 11 million millionaires out of 350 million people is only 3% of our population. The other extreme wealthy is less than 1%, and yet these 4% rule 96%, almost like a fulcrum, to push themselves and their families and their children to work in. I was watching in India, these kids are in caves. Caves are caving in on children. These children are as young as my students, even younger than 10 years old. And they force us to do things that we will never normally do. High interest loans, cut off friends and family. We do all sorts of crazy things because we're scrapping by for the scraps. We're fighting for scraps, and we're fighting amongst ourselves as if this is going to fix the topic. We're fighting with the 96% when the other 4% are forcing us to do things that we won't normally do. And I asked myself, what kind of person would do this? You know, it's like, you're a business person. You want to make money moves. You want to stay in power because you don't want to be part of the 96%. Nobody wants to be in empathy. They don't want to realize that they're forcing other people to do things that they would naturally do, only so they can keep their power. And I look at it throughout history, right? Your boy's a historian. I'm an avid learner of history. I'm talking about 1848, was it 1843? The French Revolution coming about, where people are literally in the Palace Versailles, from the sun god. He actually considered him sun god. That's Louis XIV, before it was the 16th, before that dude got his head cut off. A lot of angry fish women were like, nah, fuck this, bro. I'm sick of smelling the fish every morning. You're not even giving us fresh apples, and you're eating cake. And it's that divide that makes us scrap between each other. It's this divide that forces us to make decisions or do things we would naturally do. And that shocks me, right? It shocks me to look at almost $1 trillion of, there's trillions going out now. Trillion, when we used to go a million, billion, quadrillion, zillion, when you were a kid, is now an actual real number. It's not a fictitious number. It's a figurative number that's real. And what we do is we let 2 trillion businesses, Amazon, Apple, whatever, tax-free, churches free, tax-free, hugest, I'm going to use hugest word, military budget in the world. Yeah, we don't even scrap 1% to improve education. I'm literally talking about this because this is the fight of our lives, right? The digital divide is what's going to separate most humans on this planet. Not that we're separate. No, we're all bleeding. We all need oxygen and food to fuel our lives. But it's the other way where we're not letting some people do that. We're making them dig further into the Amazon, coming up with different type of COVID strains, or leaving their families locked up, which I've seen also, or having our children read by the street lamps. Now, this is the highest in not illustration, but alliteration that we've ever had in the world, right? Like, we're almost got, not Neuralink, but what's the other one that they're doing? The Skylink, where Elon Musk and their boys are putting up thousands of satellites so we can have the digital information cross this whole beautiful blue sphere that we call Earth. This is going to bring out the greatest of minds. This is what ignites me, is because people find solutions. That's my favorite part about like being in Thailand. It was like being in Hillbilly Central. Like, we have a lot of things that we call redneck, or what do you call it when you fix something and you put it together with ingenuity. These are the same things I'm seeing over there with duct tapes and umbrellas and making use of what we got. That's what people that have had to make their lives into reality know that about themselves, that they can be industrious, that they can be ingenuity, and they can have their lives come together by making things around them better, right? I've seen people make sandals out of dog pillows, out of tires. I think they were making sandals out of the tires too. You know, just the best type of things where we're like, there is reprieve. There are children that are thirsty for knowledge, where the other of us waste our expensive college dollars and we're just like, I gotta go to school. No, you're allowed to go to school. There was an opportunity where women weren't even allowed to own businesses. I was watching about Coco Chanel, and she started off, had to be adopted by the nuns. The nuns taught her how to be a lady. The world that she lived in, my favorite quote from her, was that she didn't like the life that she had, so she made a life that she would love. And that's what I wanted people to do, is reach the life that they would love. Unfortunately, we're just scrapping between each other. We're like, this guy's making so much money an hourly, or this person did this or that. Like, this is peanuts to an elephant. Think in trillions. Think limitlessly. For that's what's happening in our world, while you're worried about a two-party system and who to vote for and racism. It's the digital divide that makes us so scrappy. It's the wealth divide that makes us enemies between each other. And we do not have to be enemies any longer. It's a beautiful Saturday. Cohabitate. That's the thing that they don't want us to do. They don't want us to work together. They don't want us to refer each other to good jobs or have communities of our own. My friend's on, what do you call it, Millionaire Hill? Knob Hill, Snob Hill, whatever you want to call it, down in San Francisco, where you get to conglomerate with your own people and people that you love and help it as a community. Right? So some powers and numbers here. We're talking 96% of people fighting and scraping over 4% of people. And we allow this to happen. We make ourselves scrape over things like it's this ticky-tacky, small world, small bullshit that we go after. What do they call that? Petty. And it's petty that we have to fight between each other over such a wealth divide that's always happened this way. There's always been like sultans and Persian empires and taking over people, Native American lands, and we're going to take Texas from Mexico. This is our Alamo. And I watch history do this over and over again. It's like we haven't learned our lessons. Mount Vesuvius and Kilimanjaro and what was it? Krakatoa. So I'm looking at situations where boom! The world heard this reverberation 7 times around. That's how big of a sound. I think it's the world's largest sound is Krakatoa bouncing off. And that's what kind of sound I'm trying to initiate with this show. Is like, there is a way that we can pay our teachers more. They deserve it. That we can increase our hourly income. We deserve it. And the rich just kept getting richer. I don't know if you've seen the last of this but I mean richer within the billions, tens of billions of dollars, where they only got richer. And a lot of people are scraping by where all they need is $10. I'm talking $10, not the $100 a day lifestyle that we live here in America, but $10 lifestyle for shoes, bicycles, silly things. They're not asking for laptops and iPhones over there. They're not bitching about the new iPhone. This is something that helps you carry water to your family, or electricity so your daughter can learn, because now it's allowed that women can learn, especially in the Middle East. These are the things that I'm talking about freeing our mind, the way that we look at each other. We look at each other through skin colors. You're tripping. Yeah, you're tripping hard, because that's not what I see. What I see is people that are the same around the world. I've been such a blessing to see these things. I know I'm lucky. I pinch myself. I go, shit. I know there's people that around the world, like I was saying last month, or yeah, it was last month when I was at the water park, where I was like, these people might never ever get to see Venice or Germany or awesome places to open their minds and their worlds. They're only going to live in their world and how much money I'm making and how I'm not paying the bills, and this kind of centralized focus without seeing the world. And like Plato said, it's almost like those shadows against the wall, right? We always see the world only from our perspective up above us. But when we come back around, as I looked above just now, I can see a crescent moon. That's perspective. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the moon? Can you see the moon right there? There's a crescent moon out there. Trying to show. There it is, right there. That's my perspective, is to see a crescent moon in the daylight sky, to see a world where we don't have a wealth divide, that we see each other as animals and mammals on a planet that have to survive. Oops, I got too close to the edge here. And that's where I see the future. People working together so we can travel into space and go get more resources and find a different planet so that we can all live and cohabitate and live on the water and learn our oceans and build gardens over the oceans. I think so many futuristic thoughts that take a lot of hands to make that work happen, and that makes us all survive. That puts us all together in a way where we're not separated no more. It's not about skin color. It's not about money. No, it's about survival. And more than surviving, I'm talking about thriving. So if you got anything out of this, go to Saints Addiction on YouTube. I want you to have a conversation with this. Comment below. Go deeper and ask yourselves, are we fighting over scraps? Or did we miss the big meat on the big meal and we're not wanting to work together to get it together? That's your morning marijuana motivation. That's on my heart from the start. Politics on shirts, LVOG at the Las Vegas Original. This logo's blowing up. People are asking for me left, right, and straight. I forgot to mention it yesterday, but at the Las Vegas Original, because I don't know your shirt size. I don't know your shirt color. I don't know what design you want, but hit me up in the DMs. Hit that up. Like up that page, Saints Addiction. What was the other one? At the Las Vegas Original. The Las Vegas Original. And subscribe, because I got the YouTube channel popping. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever. And I'm going to leave you with the blessing, so we're all so blessed. Another day to be alive. Another day to smell fresh air. Another day to live. What I got can't be bought. Peace. I'll see you on the other side.